You're watching BCTV. We're all about Branford. You're watching BCTV, Branford Government Television, a service of Branford Community Television. This program is brought to you in part through the support of the town of Branford.
So I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the Board of Police Commissioners. It's 5:36 on September 14th, 2020. I'd like to call for an approval of the regular meeting of Monday, July 3rd.
July 13th.
Right. Can I have a motion to approve those minutes?
July 13th, I think, Rick.
I said July 13th.
Oh, I thought you said 3rd.
Oh, sorry. July 13th.
Okay. So moved.
Second.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And then I'd like to move to get a motion to approve the special meeting of Monday, August 17th, 2020.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So now, Chief, we'll turn it over to you. Order the chief.
All right, I'll try to keep an eye on it and make sure my connection doesn't falter.
You see me jumping up and down, you'll know.
All right. So as far as the ComStat report, in your commissioner's report for August, I'll note we had a street robbery on the area of Brushy Plains Road. Person was confronted and a subject produced was believed to be a handgun. We ended up making an arrest of juvenile suspect in the area, and they were charged. No one was hurt during that. Then towards the latter part of the month, on the 24th of August, we had a group of juveniles. They were on their bicycles over near the Coles Plaza. They got encountered by another group of what appeared to be young late teens on scooters, motorized scooters. There was a contact with them, and someone pointed what they believed to be a handgun, trying to demand their bicycles and some belongings. They were unsuccessful, and the parties fled. Our detectives are currently pursuing that case. We have some video that we've been reviewing. And that was on the 24th. Regarding calls for service and basic quality of life crimes, everything's pretty stable. Again, I don't want to sound like a broken record. This pervasive
You're frozen.
problem across the state of the stolen.
Sorry, can't hear you.
How's that?
You're back.
You're
Try
back.
it again.
Like I don't pay enough for my internet service provider.
Good.
So, again, I don't know if you heard me, but as far as the stolen cars go, we've been asking people to lock their cars. I'm sorry to report that we have to continually remind everyone to do this. It is improper and it's discouraging that people will traverse onto your property, check your door handles, and steal your car if it's unlocked. It's something that's been going on throughout the state in New Haven County. We're not exempt. I believe we had upwards of 50 or 60 cars stolen last year. And out of that, almost all of them had the keys.
Frozen.
Yeah.
jobs in them. Am I back?
You're back.
Now you are.
All right. I apologize. I have no idea. So lock your car, please. Don't forget, if your garage door opener is in your vehicle, that is a means of entry into your home if they do hit that. So we are looking at it, but we have not determined any kind of patterns. They will hit one town and then go to another. And a lot of Ring videos have been submitted to us and shared through other towns. And it is the exact same video every time, dressed in sweatshirts or hooded sweatshirts, run up into your driveway, check the door. If the door's locked, they run back. If it's not, they run through the car and or steal the car. So that is still ongoing. And please, help us help you. We have interrupted a few of them, specifically on midnights, but they do flee from us. So we are trying. Forfeiture report, there's no expenditures. That's stable. There's a couple deposits. As far as correspondence, I will go through this. We do have a lot. One of them was just a generic letter to the whole department, stressing their support as a Branford citizen for the department, understanding that these are extra hard days for police officers. They wanted to let us know that they're here and support us and thank us. Another one, a Linden Avenue resident, in light of all the anti-police media coverage, they just wanted to reach out and say that they're thinking of us, and that more importantly, the words policing, meaning law enforcement and local control. We're here to support you, and we think about you often. So we appreciate that. Heather Rose submitted a thank you letter to the commission for approving the blind driveway sign on Northford Road, 150 Northford. Wanted to thank us that we were able to, still operate in the COVID times via Zoom, even though the chief's connection isn't always that good.
Oh, I think we lost him again.
Yeah, frozen.
Resident on Mountaintop Drive.
You're back.
You're back.
Another Mountaintop Drive.
Lost you.
Thank us for our under regards. All right, you know what? If you don't mind, if you want to just give me 2 seconds, I'll try my hotspot and see if that helps.
Yes, that
Go
works.
ahead.
I have to say, ever since the tornado, my internet has seemed to have slowed down considerably.
Yeah.
It works,
Yeah.
but it seems slower.
There's something, yeah, there's still something wrong with a lot of signals everywhere.
Yeah, not as good as it was.
No.
All right, how's that?
Let's keep talking.
Any
Yeah.
better?
We'll tell you.
No?
Go ahead.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So a correspondence for Officer Mark Andrew for his kindness and compassion during the motor vehicle accident investigation. They wanted to thank him on how they were treated in a troubling time. They appreciated it. Supernumerary Officer Richard DeLynn and Officer John Abley. This was a boat patrol, marine patrol. They assisted a vessel that was in distress, and there was some children on the boat, and they wanted to thank us for putting them at ease and helping them and getting them safely to shore while they attended to the boat. Letter for Officer Glifford from a town resident who assisted her with a criminal investigation. She wanted to reach out and thank her for being so professional. And it was officers like her that the public needs to focus on, how professional and gracious she was. and she wanted to thank us. Officer,
Awesome.
Officer John Abley. This is an interesting one. It was a citizen. It was an interaction that Officer Abley had with some kids that were, I believe they were jumping into the waters, and someone had called at the end of Thimble Farms Road.
Elephant Rock.
Yeah, elephant, right.
So this resident had witnessed the interaction between Officer Abley and these youths, and she was taken aback on how professional he was and how he related to them and took time to speak with them. Again, Officer Abley's been assigned to different districts in the town in different areas, and every time we move him, the area wishes they could have him back. So, you know, he's out there in the public, and how he treats people is what we're looking for. You know, every contact counts. We need to build that support. So very happy to see this, but not shocked to see the name on it. So kudos to Officer Abley. But more importantly, I thank the person for sending it in, to bringing it to our attention. It's always nice to get that. Another one for one of our newer officers, also Officer Vitale. He was out on patrol, and he came across a resident, and they had a nice conversation. And again, this resident wanted to relate how nice and how professional he was, and they were impressed. So we are out there, and I'm very happy to hear that we have this long list of correspondence. And then I have another one, just basically, again, stressing that with everything going on, the COVID, the protesting, we're also pleased to have you here. Please don't get discouraged. We are here to support you. And God bless. And that was from another Branford resident. So thank you to all of you who took the time to let us know, and I'm glad to share that with you. Other than that, I can turn it over to the deputy if he has anything to report, but other than that, it's status quo. Deb, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I have nothing to do. Thank you.
Chief, I'd like to just ask you a question vis-a-vis the new law that was just passed. One of the most troubling aspects of that law, the Police Accountability Act, which was passed, I believe, unanimously by the Democrat Party and rejected unanimously by the Republican Party, typical of what we have today in this world. But that makes police individually liable for in a civil sense now. Do you care to talk at all about how that may affect us going forward in terms of being able to hire police, being able to keep the people we have, and being able to do our jobs and keeping the citizens of Branford safe?
Well, I'm sorry, but I lost you midway through your question, and I'm just trying to pick it up. So you're talking about the recent police accountability bill and the qualified immunity part is?
Yes. I think that seems to be the absolute most controversial part of that bill. Could you just talk to it a little bit and how it may affect policing going forward, and how it affects the safety of Branford residents?
Well, from our standpoint, listen, we do this job, and we do it with passion and for a reason. So, as far as the safety of the Branford residents, we're always going to do what we can to mitigate that risk and make sure that the citizens are safe. So, whatever's thrown at us, we'll find a way to deal with it. The qualified immunity part did capture some attention. I think it overshadowed some of the other issues. One of them specifically is some of the language pertaining to the deadly use of force and some of the criteria that they wrote into the law. Right now, the CPCA, the Chiefs Association, some of the best attorneys in policing are looking at that. We're hoping to have some dialogue with those that that passed the bill. They've extended some interest in listening to us. For me, as a police chief, that part of the law concerns me a little bit more than the qualified immunity. I think that has more of a significant impact on our operation as far as, yes, is it statistically very low probability that we face that? Yes, it is. But you've heard me say, basically since the day I got here, about the complexity of use of force incidents and why we need to do training and why we need to up our training and how they're split-second decision. And some of the language in that recently passed, it'll go into effect, I believe, in April if there's not a modification. That's concerning. So we need to look at that from a training standpoint, and that could have an adverse impact on how we do some proactive policing measures. The qualified immunity part, I think that needs some cleaning up. I think that there's some exposure for the municipality, cost-wise. I think we will see that. I think that the officers are less comfortable in the sense, even though, they say, well, it's a high bar to get over. It's a tough threshold, willful, wanton, and on the state side, recklessness falls in under there also. But it was something, it wasn't present for us in the past, except on the federal side. And we had ways that, when we did get quote unquote frivolous lawsuits or ones that were out merit, it never really made it to the officer, because it would go to our legal staff and we file for, summary judgment, and we granted under that. So this here, we're going to get some more exposure. Do I think some of this is going to impact proactive policing? Yeah, I do. Will we give up? No, we're not going to give up. I can assure you that. But for some departments in Connecticut in general, will certain styles and parts of policing be different? Yeah, I do. I really do. But, they're supposed to go back in session, I think, very soon, maybe even this week or next week. So there's been some dialogue. Let's hope we can have some dialogue. And like I said previously, I hope that law enforcement's voice is heard. I encouraged all of you to listen to the testimony and go back to Connecticut Television Network and watch it. And I hope that the public hasn't forgotten about some of it. These are complex issues. They have serious consequences. And I just think that it deserved more attention and more thought than it was given. But hopefully we can work together and hopefully make it better for everybody, quite frankly.
Well, that was very nice way of saying what you said. I think I think people out there in TV land need to look at their legislators and see how they voted on this and consider other alternatives going forward in November, because I think that some of the people that voted for this did it as a reaction to national issues, which we all get. I think everybody understands that, but I'm not sure that this law has made any of the residents in Connecticut any safer. And particularly the residents that are the most vulnerable, the ones, in fact, that are, they're trying to help with this law, are probably going to be hurt the most by this law. That's my opinion, but everybody has their own, and I guess that's neither here nor there now. But I wanted to state for the record, because you guys do a fantastic job here in town. You do get an enormous amount of support, and it's deserved. And I wish our legislators would show you the same respect that our citizens show you.
Well, again, I think that there's parts of it that are really good, and parts of it was the roadmap that we were on anyways, accreditation, looking at your operation. Some of those issues, I think, you need today. You have to have those standards. All of you know where myself and the deputy stand with professionalism and what we want in our agency and what we won't tolerate. So I think parts of the bill, that there is some good to it. I really do. But when you talk of, the qualified immunity deadly use of force, those issues, those are complex. You cannot make those decisions in one night of testimony, but depending on what 30-second clip you listen to. But I will end with this, and you categorize the way I speak, because politics do not belong in policing. I cannot stress that enough. We serve everybody. We are here for the public. We should be independent. We are the fulcrum. We should not be infusing politics into policing. And what you're seeing across the country right now is dividing us. And I will say, this is not bringing us together. This is not helping us work with the community and gain more support. Speak to any cop nowadays, and they'll tell you a story recently where someone said something to them, or you go to pick up your food and someone says a comment to you. The deputy can share his experience in Branford of someone giving him a very nice gesture as he stopped at a stop sign one day. So we need to come together. We need to heal. But the way it's going right now, we're just working extra hard to do that. But I think in Branford, we were on the right track from the get-go. So some of it doesn't concern me. Some of it is fine. We're doing that anyways. You're going to see some labor issues with some of the drug testing and some of the other parts of the bill that have yet to be, sorted out. But stay tuned, more to come. We're looking at our training regimen. We will see some cost increases, and there will be some associated costs with this. But we're committed. We're going to continue to give you professional policing. We're not going to give up. Our people are trying extra hard to earn the respect of the public every day, and we're going to continue to do that.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much for that.
Thank you.
Really. All right, so let's unless anybody else has anything they want to add, why don't we move along to the traffic committee?
All right.
Okay.
Peter,
Nine-
I'll turn it over to you.
Yep, 9 items. I'll go through them. We just had our committee meeting on them. First item, appropriate signage at the intersection of Cedar and Rose, and then a larger sign on Cedar Street at that same intersection. Oncoming traffic does not stop. We're working with the town engineer, and he's going to come forward. Suggestions may include a turning lane off of Cedar Street, certainly a larger sign, oncoming traffic, etc. We expect to have a final report from him, hopefully by the October meeting, and I'll be talking with him. And so I would like to defer items 1 and 2 to October. No action at this time.
Okay.
Third item is a request for no parking area at the southern end, the water end of Crescent Bluff Avenue, painted on the roadway, and like to see a recommendation, a motion that take place, and a second, and then a vote.
All right. Can I have a motion from somebody to put that no parking areas?
Okay, so let's I have motion to request a striping of the road, no parking area at the end of Crescent Bluff Avenue.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so it passes.
Okay, fourth and fifth items have to do with State Road 146. First one is for more speed limit signs on the section from where Leeds Island Road and Thimble Islands Road meet to the Guilford line, more speed limits both sides of the street. There is a study being commissioned by the state to look at the entire stretch of 146, and the recommendation is that we authorize or encourage the chief to communicate to DOT that to consider additional speed limit signs in that section. Is there a motion for that?
Peter, I'm not sure we actually need anything there. That's
All right.
going to happen anyway. So I would just let the chief do his thing, unless,
As long as he knows we're behind him.
yeah. Chief, do you agree with that? You don't need a motion for that, do you?
It is an actionable item. I mean, you can, table it or,
Yeah, no, I'd like to get it off the agenda that, move it to you. Just make sure that DOT does consider additional speed limit signs on that section.
All right. So can I have a motion then from somebody for the chief to do that?
A motion that the chief recommends to the DOT. The DOT, yes, additional speed signs on 146.
You have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 All right, that passed.
Okay, fifth item is, again, 146, but in the Hotchkiss Grove section of Branford. And that's a request for crosswalks. And again, like item 4, would like the chief to be sure that as the study goes forward, possible crosswalks in that area are considered.
Okay. Can I get a motion for that?
A motion that the chief recommends there are additional crosswalk signs in the Hotchkiss Grove area during the analysis that's going to happen for Route 146.
Okay. And could I have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Great.
Sixth item is request for a crosswalk and stop sign on Featherbed Lane in the vicinity of Medley Lane. Talking with engineering, there's no volume of traffic that comes close to recommending that be an intersection with stop signs. Engineering is recommending leave it as it is. So recommendation of the committee is no action.
Okay.
Item 7 is a request for an all-way stop sign at the intersection of Kirkham and Elm. This, again, same, no volume of traffic to justify a stop sign there. However, engineering did agree that let's put some fog lines in with the hope, expectation that by narrowing Kirkham Street visibly with fog lines, that maybe the traffic speeds come down some. So I'd like a recommendation for fog lines to on Kirkham Street for its length from Main Street to where it joins Maple.
Can I have a motion, please? Could I ask somebody to make a motion?
A motion to request fog lines on Kirkham Avenue. And are we including the radar speed signs? No. Is that
No, that's going to be the next item.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And I'd like another motion. We had
Wait. I
You
need a second on that. I need a second on it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Go ahead,
Hey,
next.
Peter.
We had approved at a prior meeting a couple of years ago a fixed speed sign on Kirkham with the narrowing of the street, which engineering is also in favor of. I'd like to take that off of our approved list and let's try the fog lines and the trailers that Chief Mulhern is deploying around town as it is.
Great.
So I'd like a motion to take the fixed radar speed signs off the work order.
So
all one of you need to do is say so moved.
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the final item, 9, is a request to remove 5 parking spaces in the Stony Creek section on Thimble Islands Road in the vicinity of the town beach. Recommendation there is that we review according to the federal state guidelines, that all the signage in that area is as it should be. So we'd like to see a motion that calls for reviewing the signage in the area of the crosswalks where the parking spaces have been asked to be done away with. And if compliance is not there, that we could take an action at our October meeting.
Somebody make a motion, please.
Motion to study the signage and lines on the crosswalk also, are we including in that?
Yeah, I think you can't have parking right up against the crosswalk sign, but that'll all take place.
Motion to see if the signage and all crosswalks are proper spacing and size for the request before we think about the request to remove parking spaces in the area of the town beach and Stony Creek.
Okay, can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That concludes my report.
Okay. I have no report of the chair. So at this point, I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Y'all have a lovely evening.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, all.
Out, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Be good. Be well.
This program was brought to you in part through the support of the Town of Branford. Watch town meetings and other videos on demand at BranfordTV.org.